folks. Today I'm going to work this horse, and he's a 9-year-old gelding, and he's a perfect horse to show you some stuff, because what happens is a lot of people are asking me about my bit and older horses, and this is the example of why I use it. Now, I rode this horse the other day in the Slicer bit and put a whole bunch of cows down the chute preg testing. So he was in a tub, and it's pretty tight quarters. So that particular day, I just got in the deep end with him to find out where I was at, and I got away with it. But you know, when you're in a tub, you ain't got a whole lot of place to leave. So he got it done. I opened and shut gates all day. Anyway, I also learned that day there's some things I needed to get across to him. Well, I couldn't do it in the tub because I was entered up, and I didn't want to. I wanted to find out where I was at. So now, with no pressure, I can just show you the things that I want him to get better at. And the transition is it'll be two-handed, one-handed, and then the slicer. He's already been rode in the Western bit 1,000,000 miles. So this is kind of the story about all the emails are wondering about older horses. So I'm going to school him in this bit, and then the next time I have a cowboy on him, which will be a couple days from now, I'm putting the slicer back on him. And he'll get it. I don't train him, I just outlast him. So I want to show you the backing up thing. I want him to get to where he feels comfortable about backing straight. And he was gapping at the mouth, which reminds me, the guy that had him mentioned, you know, the kids could ride him. Well, that's a two-sided coin. What it means is that he's gentle enough for the kids to ride. What it means is that he can do whatever the hell he wants with the kids on him. He throws a fit, they all jump off and run home. So there's two sides to the kid riding deal. So first I'm going to do the backup. And the goal is to walk backwards off of my seat in a loose rein in a straight line, so I can get the angle of the sun in my favor and watch his mouth. I've got his mouth, I've got the noseband on it, but I can still see if he's wanting to gap or not. So there I'm backing on a loose rein. Hindquarter is going crooked, so I'm going to reach back, and this is why the snaffle. I can tip his nose to the left just a little bit to disengage that hindquarter like that. That's why I school in the snaffle and then go back to the slicer. This is easier for a horse to understand. Now I'm going to exhale and stop. Now I'm just going to simply set up my skeleton and ask him to walk backwards. I'm trying to open my hands so that he can feel to walk backwards without me pulling. He understands it. Okay, it was worth putting this on just to have that done. Now, here's the other sick part. Get around in front of him, Deb, if you would. I want to show you something that I thoroughly believe in because I've seen it too many times. For whatever reason, there's a group of people, and I know clinicians, because I've seen them do it, is they purposely sit still and bring a horse's head around. And then they bring it around, and they bring it around. They keep bringing their horse's head back around and around without the feet moving. Okay, I'm kind of a hick, so I have no idea why. But what I've noticed on this horse, because that was pretty much what it was done to him, is that it's kind of a, if you watch him move his head, he was coming all the way around. I'd tap him in the nose with my boot, because I don't want to encourage that. What I want him to do is to just relax and hold his head straight. And without me doing anything, he'll take his head to the left and to the right. And I think that's a bad reflex for a horse. In other words, I think they go there because they know they won't get in trouble if they give their head back and forth. And it has absolutely no value as far as I'm concerned. So I'm getting past that. And it's been a couple weeks, but that there is starting to go away. Now, laterally, once again, the snaffle, I can get on the logs and then I can make it more clear to him what exactly it is I want. Now, he had a habit of throwing his head, and I mean throwing his head. And it doesn't mean that you need a tie down. It doesn't mean that he hates to bit, so you have to go back to the feed store. And it doesn't mean that the saddle doesn't fit. It means that he's throwing a tantrum. Period. It will disappear over time with good riding. Now I'm just going to roll my left calf, drop my left seat bone, and ask him to go that way I want him to go. The reason for the two hands is to keep his body straight, because that's what side passing is, not a diagonal. So now I say, with a big bubble in my reins, here it comes. I've dropped my seat bone, I look the direction I want to go, and I'm saying, here it comes. I take my leg off as soon as he moves. There. Now, I'm lowering my hands because he's pushing on the bit. And I need his nose to come in a little bit. So now I've gone past the log, leaning over the dash, reaching back with my left foot, driving the hindquarter over. Now I sit up again, and I ask. Now, I'm going to lay the reins down and let him know that that's all there was to it. That's all I needed. He can just take it easy. And I'll guarantee you, this stuff you're watching right there is going to go away. When he doesn't have to be under duress to do something. It's a sick deal as far as I'm concerned. I just want him to stand, and he'll learn that all he has to do is stand. So now I'm going to go the other way. Now this exercise, when I'm finished, I'll do it with one hand. Now it'll be a flat hand, but it'll be one hand instead of two. I'm trying to break it down for him so there's no doubt in his mind what I'm asking. Right seat bone down, left leg off, rolling right calf, right toe out. Have not contacted with the spur, took my leg off. Both legs, he went backwards. Here it comes, contacted with the spur, leaning forward, displacing my weight, looking where I want to go, giving the rein, lowering my hands for the nose. Feet are moving. He's rolling the cricket while he's side passing. That's what I needed. Okay, now just so we're clear, I'm going to go back again, but this time I'm going to do it one-handed. And then I'll know where I'm at. Now, you've seen this before, but if you can see, this is not one-handed yet for me. This is one-handed. Now I can tip my wrist this way for the right corner of the mouth, this way for the left corner of the mouth, and that will help the horse make it. This is all done in little steps. When he's all done, you'll simply be holding Ramal reins if that's what you want, and your body will do the whole thing. If I do it now, I'll just set myself up to fail because he doesn't understand that. But he's gonna. Hell, he's 9. He'll get it. So now I'm going to say, excuse me, which is contact. Look where I want to go. Reaching back because he's not square. Moving the hindquarter over. Taking my leg off. Now looking where I want to go. Paying attention to the lack of collection. Asking. Give. Asking, leaning forward while in perpetual motion. Now watch, this is when, if he falls apart, this is when I can reach back with two hands, but I'm trying to get it done without it. And you'll be surprised how quick you can get this done. So if a horse can walk sideways and roll the cricket, then he's not worried about his mouth. See this? And I hate to be redundant, but I'm telling you, that needs to go away. You've seen people with a tick, or kids especially, they get nervous. Kids that are always, like the parents are always ragging on them about something, they're nervous. They're nervous kids. They fidget. Well, this is the same way I feel about it. If everything was wonderful, he'd just be standing there with his head straight. And remember, it used to come all the way to here, and I went like that, and now this high-tech training I use, he figured out he probably shouldn't go within reach of my boot.
Can I bring up a point, though? What you didn't do is pull his head back around, which would just be the same thing that he had done, right?
Yeah, during this whole exercise, I haven't pulled his head around.
Right.
I'm laying the reins down on his neck to show him that I'm not going to do that. And when I do reach for him, I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to explain to him as best I possibly can that you don't have to do that, partner. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
A lot of people would try to correct the head.
I get it. Deb's telling me that a lot of people would try to correct this right now. Well, I'm not gonna, because every time I would pull, I would be counterproductive because I would be pulling on his mouth again. What I want him to do is sort it out in his brain with the most highest level of release I can give, and he'll figure out he doesn't have to do it. So it doesn't turn into a contest. I'm not in his wash machine. I'm just standing there watching him. So Deb's right. You know, most people would try to combat that. Well, hell with it. It'll work itself out. It's going to disappear. I know it is. And the reason I know it is because I'm giving him a fair deal. And these horses, over time, the horses I get from Mexico, it usually takes about 3 weeks for them to say, okay, I guess this is a pretty good deal. So now I've got him where I want him, and I'm done. So 10 quality minutes is way better than 2 hours of having him dripping wet and throwing a fit. Thank you.